Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. They really think we're stupid, huh? I really feel like Democrats have made this political calculus. They just believe that, enough people in the country are dumb enough, not informed enough, not educated enough to see through the clear BS propaganda that they're pushing. I really think that Democrats just really don't care anymore. They don't care about honesty. They don't care about any of it anymore. They're just targeting the ideologically captured and those gullible enough to not see through their crap. I don't know, guys. I'm honestly floored. I'm flabbergasted. I'm a little bit in shock. I just sat through Kamala Harris's little sit-down interview with MSNBC's Stephanie Ruhle, and my takeaway is pretty much the same that it's been. Are people really buying this crap? Can people not see what is obviously happening? It is such clear propaganda, it's not even funny. I'm gonna say this, in a rational world, this MSNBC interview with Kamala Harris would end Kamala Harris's campaign. There should be no coming back from this kind of thing. And let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. Let's get into the nuances and the details of Kamala Harris's latest sit-down interview, if you could even call it that. It's obviously so scripted and highly edited. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, there's only a couple things to say here. Actually, I'm going to say a couple words: dishonesty and journalistic malpractice. Over the last couple of weeks, as we've been talking about this Kamala basement strategy that the DNC has been employing, there's been a lot of demands that Kamala Harris do a real sit-down interview. I mean, even CNN at one point, or at least an anchor at CNN, claimed they wanted to see Kamala Harris in the lion's den, maybe on adversarial media, answering tough questions. But what do we get? It started off with a three-way circle jerk at CNN with Dana Bash, and now we have Stephanie Ruhle sitting down with Kamala Harris. Stephanie Ruhle, huh? This person.
And let's say you don't like her answer. Are you going to vote for Donald Trump?
No, I'm not.
Kamala
I just said I'm not going to vote for her.
Harris is not running for perfect. She's running against Trump. We have two choices. And so there are some things you might not know her answer to. And in 2024, unlike 2016 for a lot of the American people, we know exactly what Trump will do, who he is, and the kind of threat he is to democracy.
I don't know.
So it's unclear to me how there could be an informed...
Are we stupid? Stephanie Ruhle is not a journalist. Stephanie Ruhle is not the right person to be challenging Kamala Harris. Stephanie Ruhle is a Kamala shill. And once again, we've learned nothing. I've gained nothing of value after sitting down listening to that interview. It wasn't as cringe as this kind of thing.
I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now.
Yeah.
But in our country, we need you to be Mamala of the country.
But honestly, it was ostensibly the same thing.
At any point in your life, have you served 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, working out at McDonald's? Yes or no? That's it.
I have.
Okay.
What was that? That clip right there, played in isolation, tells you everything that you need to know, because that's what this interview was. It felt no different from Kamala Harris interacting with a celebrity in one of her campaign, Hollywood production social media events. It's the same thing. That's not journalism. Kamala Harris has made a claim for the first time in her long-spending career that apparently she's middle class and started from the ground up, working a regular job at McDonald. And of course, people question the authenticity of the claim, and you would expect as a journalist that, you'd try to get a little bit more information, but instead, this is what we get. No pushback, no questions, no focus on the facts. Kamala Harris hasn't named the location of the chain that she worked at. We haven't seen any pay stubs. No one who has ever worked for McDonald's has ever confirmed that they worked with Kamala Harris. There is no proof behind the claim, but these journalists seem to have no interest in actually getting to that truth. It's literally just about presenting Kamala Harris in a way that makes her likable. #joy, #brat. This interview, and frankly this entire campaign, has been one long, sick joke. Going back to the initial point of the video, they think you're stupid. They think you don't have the ability to think past your nose. Oh, Kamala Harris worked at McDonald's, I'm definitely voting for her, You gotta be stupid to not see this for what it is. A propaganda performance. How much longer is Kamala Harris going to be able to get away with this? How many months has it been and she still hasn't answered a single tough question? All the real questions during the debate she completely avoided, just straight up didn't answer. And now in this MSNBC interview, she's allowed to just say things without even getting challenged. Kamala Harris at one point claimed that housing is unaffordable and the American dream is becoming elusive. And after Kamala Harris said that, a real journalist would have asked, well, what role do you play in that? Considering you've been vice president for the last 4 years, the cost of living has gone up under your leadership. Don't you bear some responsibility? But no, that question is not asked. So you don't get that response from Kamala Harris. She's just allowed to say whatever it is that she wants to say and constantly contradict herself. I mean, what a two-faced campaign. Kamala Harris is now trying to portray herself as a former prosecutor who's going to be tough on the border. You know, she says that while simultaneously weaving within her sentences the fact that she wants to create more pathways to citizenship.
There are people there that are stressed, that feel that they're at capacity. Communities around the country that have legal immigration, many have said, we're at capacity. And many feel like the government has said to them, well, adapt, sit down, be quiet, this is how it is. What would a Harris administration do for those communities who've taken in many, many legal immigrants but are at capacity?
Well, first of all, we do have a broken immigration system, and it needs to be fixed. And if we take a step back, months ago, some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress came together with others, proposed a border security bill. That would have put 1,500 new border agents on the border to help those hardworking border agents who are there right now working around the clock. Would have put more money into stemming the flow of fentanyl, which is killing Americans around our country and devastating communities. Would have put more resources into our ability to prosecute transnational criminal organizations, which in my career I've prosecuted. Donald Trump got word of the bill, realized it was going to fix a problem he wanted to run on, and told him to kill the bill, don't put it up for a vote. He killed a bill that would have actually been a solution because he wants to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And that's part of what needs to be addressed. And my pledge is that when elected president, if the American people will have me, I will bring that bill back and I will sign it into law. And we need a comprehensive plan that includes what we need to do to fortify not only our border, but deal with the fact that we also need to create pathways for people to earn citizenship.
Well, I wonder who that applies to. Obviously illegal migrants. She's talking about mass amnesty. That's what she meant when she said, quote, "My views have not changed."
The most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
Kamala Harris is essentially calling for tough border laws and also mass amnesty. It's insane. And the journalist sitting right across her, the journalist, I can't believe I even said that, the Democrat propagandist sitting right across from her, never pushed back, not even once. She is a dimwit, and they simply let her get away with it. I mean, look at this.
Polling shows that most likely voters still think Donald Trump is better to handle the economy. Why do you think that is?
Well, here's what I know in terms of the facts. Donald Trump left us with the worst economy since the Great Depression when you look at, for example, the employment numbers.
It was during COVID, and employment was so high because we shut down the government, we shut down the country.
Even before the pandemic, he lost manufacturing jobs by most people's estimates, at least 200,000. He lost manufacturing plants, ask the auto workers.
She is so ignorant and so highly incompetent, it's frankly baffling. Donald Trump left them the worst economy since the Great Depression, according to the unemployment numbers. That's insane. The unemployment numbers, you mean all the people who were sent home, unable to work thanks to Democrat governors across the various states? It's total gibberish, total nonsense. Everything this woman says is just a prepackaged talking point or total word salad.
Some of the work is going to be through what we do in terms of giving benefits and assistance to state and local governments around transit dollars and looking holistically at the connection between that and housing and looking holistically at the incentives we in the federal government can create for local and state governments to actually engage in planning in a holistic manner.
I don't even know what she's talking about half the time. And apparently I'm not the only one. Apparently nobody knows what the frig Kamala Harris is talking about 99% of the time. Even Stephanie Ruhle admits it, but she claims, well, it doesn't really matter.
Work, and one could watch that and say, well, she didn't give a clear, direct answer. That's okay, because we are not talking about clear or direct issues.
The question about inflation and prices, this to me is it's sort of one of the most frustrating aspects of this campaign. The thing that people are 100% correctly wrapped.
That's the journalist that conducted this farce of an interview. Oh, it's okay that Kamala Harris isn't giving us straightforward answers. She wasn't giving clear and direct answers because we weren't talking about clear and direct issues. What does that even mean? I don't know. They're trying to sell us this product, but I'm just not buying it. What I saw was more Democrat theater, journalistic malpractice, a whole bunch of word salad nonsense, and then two important things that really were my only takeaways. The first one, of course, Kamala Harris essentially weaving into her words that she still supports mass amnesty, and the second, of course, her stance on corporate taxes.
Expanding that child tax credit, or you mentioned housing before, giving that extra money for a first home. If you can't raise corporate taxes, or if GOP takes control of the Senate, where do you get the money to do that? Do you still go forward with those plans and borrow?
Well, but we're going to have to raise corporate taxes, and we're going to have to make sure that the biggest corporations and billionaires pay their fair share. That's just it. It's about paying their fair share.
I mean, that right there should be disqualifying. We're coming right off the back of an inflation crisis, and Kamala Harris is proposing an increase to corporate taxes, hitting the bottom line for businesses across the nation. In other words, policy that will kill jobs and increase the cost of products being produced by these companies. They're trying so hard to present her as something fresh, something new. Vote for Kamala and everyone will prosper. But it's obvious that Kamala Harris hasn't changed, and that really she doesn't represent change. It's the same disaster you got with Joe Biden, except even worse and even more far left. And these people think you're too dumb to see it. Well, I'll tell ya, I see it clear as day. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.